I've spent over 4 decades here at the Masters. But just like that, the time has come for me to say, so long.
Bernhard Langer's latest announcement has sent ripples across the golf world. What seemed like a routine statement is actually a turning point, reshaping his legacy, influence, and the future of the sport. Behind the headlines lies a story few are discussing, and I've uncovered everything they're keeping quiet. Final bow at Augusta. Closing the book. After decades of battling the toughest courses and competing against generations of champions, Bernhard Langer's departure from the major championship stage in 2025 felt less like an ending and more like a carefully orchestrated transition. His 41st and final Masters appearance was both a personal milestone and a symbolic marker for golf itself. Langer had prepared fans for this moment well in advance, hinting for years that Augusta National, the site of some of his most defining moments, would be the logical and emotional place for his final major stand.
Today, as Chairman Fred Ridley is there to salute one of the great players in the history of this tournament.
He cited not only the physical toll required to remain competitive on increasingly demanding setups, but also the evolving style of modern major golf. Longer fairways, more punishing rough, and a relentless athletic pace that reflects a very different era than the one he entered in the 1970s. His final outing was no ceremonial walk. Langer played with the discipline and precision that defined his career, ultimately missing the cut by a narrow margin. Yet that outcome did not tarnish the moment. In fact, it validated the timing. This wasn't an athlete pushed out by decline, humiliation, or injury. It was a master choosing the terms of his exit. The near miss served almost as confirmation that he was leaving at the right moment. Still capable, still competitive, but fully aware of the shifting landscape around him. In stepping away from majors, Langer is not abandoning golf, but reshaping his place within it. The move positions him less as a week-to-week contender and more as a veteran statesman, someone whose value now lies in mentorship, presence, and legacy rather than scorecards. His retirement from major championships marks a turning point, not only in his personal journey, but within the sport's generational continuity. A legend, stepping aside with dignity, allows a new wave to rise, while his influence continues to echo through every fairway he ever walked. Resilience. Defined, comeback, and continuing. Wins Langer's gradual withdrawal from major championships is often framed as a natural conclusion to an extraordinary career. Yet the path leading to that decision reveals something deeper than a simple winding down. It highlights a core trait that has defined him for decades, an almost unbreakable resilience. That resilience was put to the test in early 2024 when an unexpected and severe setback occurred. While not even playing golf at the time, Langer tore his Achilles tendon, one of the most debilitating injuries an athlete can face, especially at his age. Many observers, even sympathetic ones, believed the injury would mark the effective end of his competitive career. A torn Achilles at 66 is usually considered a full stop, not a comma.
I think I can still be very productive for a few more years. I still think I have a lot of good golf in me. I have a feeling I might be able to come back a little quicker than most people.
But Langer has never lived by conventional expectations. Drawing on his disciplined training habits, meticulous rehab routines, and a lifetime of mental toughness, he approached recovery with the same precision and tenacity that fueled his greatest victories. The result was one of the most remarkable comebacks in senior golf history. By November 2024, barely 9 months removed from surgery, he returned not merely to compete, but to win. At the Charles Schwab Cup Championship, the season finale of the PGA Tour Champions, Langer delivered a stunning performance capped by a 30-foot birdie on the final hole. The putt sealed the victory and extended his unmatched streak to 18 consecutive years, with at least one Champions Tour win. Shooting a 5-under par 66 in the final round at age 67 would be impressive under any circumstances. Doing so months after major injury elevated it to something extraordinary. The win reframed his career narrative, not just about longevity, but about defiance, a refusal to accept age or adversity as limits. This post-injury resurgence now stands alongside his earliest triumphs as a defining pillar of his legacy. For fans and younger players alike, Langer's comeback serves as a vivid illustration of what determination, discipline, and belief can still achieve, even when the world assumes your best days are behind you. New identity, from competitor to golf statesman. With his chapter in major championships now officially closed, Bernhard Langer is entering a new phase of his career, one defined less by scorecards and more by influence, representation, and the transfer of knowledge. Instead of disappearing quietly after Augusta, he has begun reshaping his identity within the sport. A clear sign of this evolution came through a recently announced partnership with a major athletic brand. While the details of the deal were not designed as a headline-grabbing retirement splash, the symbolism is unmistakable. Langer's name, discipline, and global recognition still hold commercial and cultural power. Companies don't invest in fading figures. They invest in icons whose relevance transcends their active win-loss record.
And what's even more astonishing is how they've evolved and improved and continue to make this the best experience for players, for champions, for the patrons.
This shift is not about stepping away, but stepping into a broader, more strategic role within golf. Few figures have witnessed the sport transform as dramatically as Langer, from equipment revolutions to fitness-driven player development to globalization of elite competition. Because he has lived through each era, he is uniquely positioned to speak to both tradition and modernity. That makes him valuable not only as an ambassador, but as a mentor. Younger players entering the professional ranks today face pressures and complexities Langer understands intimately. His voice carries authority earned not by opinion, but by decades of consistent excellence. His continued involvement in senior and legends events only deepens this connection. These tournaments keep him visible, relevant, and accessible, allowing fans and younger players to observe firsthand the qualities that have sustained him for nearly half a century. Rather than being relegated to nostalgia, he becomes a living embodiment of golf's long arc, proof that a career can evolve without erasing its past. In this light, Langer is not retiring so much as rebranding. His competitive fire may no longer be directed at major glory, but his presence, insight, and heritage arguably matter more now than any single win ever could. Legacy of longevity, records, consistency, and reinvention. When assessing Langer's place in golf history, one narrative stands out: his unrivaled longevity and consistency across decades. On the Champions Tour alone, by the end of 2024, he held 47 career victories, the most in its history.
I would really put my legacy to be that I'm a good person of integrity and honesty. Good role model. I would think that would be far more important than anything else.
His record streak, a win every year for 18 years straight, highlights not only his skill, but also his capacity to adapt, endure, and remain competitive even as the sport and his body change. That adaptability is a key element of his legacy. He survived growth of the sport, shifting equipment, younger and louder competition, and still managed to remain relevant. Where many athletes fade after peaks, Langer redefined what a prolonged elite career can look like. Moreover, his career trajectory provides a blueprint: early success as a major champion, sustained dominance in senior golf, and then a dignified transition to mentorship and legacy roles. For many golfers, and any athlete with a long career, Langer's arc offers a model: succeed, endure, evolve, and exit on your own terms. His legacy will not be just about wins or titles, but about consistency, professionalism, reinvention, and setting a standard for what longevity in sport can achieve. Humble roots. From Bavarian village to global fairways, Langer's story begins far from the manicured fairways of Augusta or championship tour glamour. He was born on 27 August 1957 in the tiny village of Anhausen, near Augsburg, Bavaria, a community of only a few hundred, a place where golf was nothing. Growing up in a place where classmates reportedly thought his ambition to play golf sounded crazy, Langer had no established role models, no tradition of professional golf to look up to.
What can you tell us about your parents?
They grew up in a very difficult time in their life. It was World War II. My mother was one of 12 kids. There wasn't enough food for all of them.
Turning pro in 1972, at a time when golf was far from mainstream in his homeland, Langer embarked on a path few around him understood. Over decades, his talent, discipline, and adaptability carried him beyond Europe, to tournaments in Asia, Australasia, America, South Africa. He accumulated successes on multiple continents, a rare achievement shared by very few in golf history. Reflecting on his life years later, Langer called his career a dream come true. That phrase is more than cliché. It underscores a trajectory that began with obscurity and limited opportunity, and rose to global recognition and legacy-defining victories. His background reminds us that greatness in sport doesn't always require privilege or pedigree. For many aspiring golfers, especially those from non-traditional golf countries, Langer's journey offers evidence that humble origins need not limit ambition or eventual achievement. Faith, family, and integrity, defining person as much as golfer. Beyond titles, earnings, and records, a key pillar of Langer's identity, and part of what people remember, is his character, his faith, his family orientation, and his integrity. During his farewell at the final 2025 Masters tournament, Langer didn't just reflect on shots or scores, but on memories, walking with family, seeing his children and grandchildren, friends from around the world. Lots of emotions flooding through my mind. I saw my wife, I saw my 4 kids, and I saw 2 of my grandkids, walking a few holes with me.
Yeah, it's never really been a problem getting motivated. That's just part of my DNA. Whenever I do something, I want to do it well. I want to do it great, to the best of my ability. And you know, when the day comes and I'm out here just goofing off, it's time to go home, I think, and play with the grandkids and the kids.
He once described his golfing story, from Germany to America, winning the greatest tournaments in the world, as truly a fairy tale. But for Langer, the fairy tale isn't just about triumphs, it's about humility, acknowledging where he came from, recognizing luck and support, and valuing relationships beyond results. His public statements and demeanor suggest a man who always viewed success as part of a larger life, not just for trophies, but for legacy, family, connection. Moreover, those who witnessed his farewell and career-end moments often comment on his grace and respect. Langer's exit from regular competitive golf, while sentimental, lacked the bitterness that sometimes accompanies aging athletes. Instead, it was marked by gratitude, reflection, and acceptance. That underlines a legacy not only as a champion golfer, but as a model sportsman, someone for younger players to emulate not only for technique, but for character. Shaping golf's future, legacy, inspiration, and longevity's benchmark. Langer's career arc does more than tell his personal story. It reshapes what a full life in golf can look like, and influences how future generations view longevity and success. He demonstrated, repeatedly, that a professional career in golf need not peak early, then fade. It can evolve, adapt, and remain relevant across decades. From early European Tour success, to global wins, to senior tour dominance, and finally a dignified stepping back. His path offers a blueprint for sustainable longevity.
The one advice I would give to any young golfer, especially if he wants to turn pro, is to really work hard at the short game, first of all, from 100 yards in, but especially putting and chipping and pitching. And then long game, work on the fundamentals.
He also helped elevate European and international golf. As a member of multiple top-tier tours, winner across continents, and a veteran on both European and American circuits, Langer's presence helped connect golf communities worldwide, breaking down the notion that top-level golf was a preserve of a few nations. Younger European and non-American players now have a precedent. You can come from modest beginnings and still compete and win globally. Moreover, Langer's conduct, his professionalism, humility, reverence for the game, and his faith and family-grounded perspective all contribute to an enduring image of what a golf legend should be. As he transitions away from competitive majors, his legacy may increasingly take shape not in the scoreboards, but in influence, mentoring, inspiration, sportsmanship, intangible, yet potentially the most lasting impact of all. Bernhard Langer's latest announcement marks a pivotal moment in his legendary career. Beyond signaling a shift in his personal journey, It could reshape the competitive landscape, influence younger golfers, and redefine how fans view his legacy. As the details continue to emerge, this announcement may have consequences that extend far beyond the golf course. Stay tuned. The next chapter in Langer's story could alter everything we thought we knew.